Yo, what's up, Golden Gamers? Welcome back to another episode of Radio Melee. Today, we do not have an extra guest, but we do have myself and, of course, Toph, the magical and powerful man, joining us today. We're going to give you guys all of our takes about the MPGR list that came out recently.
And what a list it is.
And what a list it is, really. People have had so many thoughts about it, so we're going to get that covered this week since we weren't quite able to snag a guest. Had a lot of people in line, just didn't end up working out for us. But what's up, Toph? How's it going, man?
I am so excited to, I think nothing quite gets the imaginative juices of the community flowing quite like tier lists and rankings. I think as humans, we like to categorize and rank things. People love it. I mean, you can see this human nature. It's reflected in, I don't know, the view counts for whenever Panda Global makes tier list videos and puts those on YouTube. They get so many views because people fundamentally love ranking and sorting things. It's just so satisfying to us. And I can't wait to go over this which I think is the top 40, right? If I can count, I think it's 40 people. Is it 40? I hope it's
somewhere
40.
Around there. 40 or 30.
It's interesting because, historically we've always obviously had top 100. Well, this is like a little bit like a half rankings. Obviously, we're not even really ranking people outside of the number one. We're sorting them into tiers. Mm-hmm. But in a weird way, it's like wow, like so many people didn't even get like ranked because it only goes down so far. So it's kind of it's an exciting time for the people who got ranked, and I'm sure a bittersweet time for some other people.
Yeah, who made the cut barely, who didn't make the cut barely. A lot to be said about that. I know, kind of reminds me of how when the top 100 would come out, one of the most interesting questions people would ask is, okay, well, who's number 101? Who basically didn't make it? And so now I think people often rank 101 unofficially or officially, and so now I guess the question moves on to who's 102. But we'll get there when we get there. That's a lot to ask for a community.
Today, I mean, I guess we could talk about, this might be an interesting thing to discuss, who we think might be 41.
I ended up counting. It does look like we have 30 people here, so we'd be looking at 30.
30?
Yeah.
Not 40, 30?
Yes, sir. I could have miscounted.
No. Maybe you're right.
Yeah. Just a quick look over. So yeah, a lot of people left out, Even if you're top 100, a lot of people left out.
Yeah. No, a lot of people that you would expect to see on the rankings next year, certainly, but might not have made it this year, and it's nutty. But before we get into that, two things. One of those, of course, is if you're watching here with us on Twitch.tv, then what you can, of course, do is use that !Radio Melee command. You're going to want to type !Radio Melee into our chat.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, you're going to be able to come down into the Discord server and talk to us. You can ask us whatever question you want. Just hop in that Submit Topics Here channel and type out your question, and we're going to select you to talk to us live on air. We're going to hear your voices. You're going to hear our voices. There's only, a couple thousand million people watching. Don't get nervous when you're live on there. That's right.
Don't mess up your words. It'd be very embarrassing. Everyone will know.
It would be horrible. It would be horrible, and you'd never
so
probably
much pressure on these people that never go on air. But
that's right. That's right. Your career would never recover, probably. And the second thing is, of course, we got our community voice. We had a great question from last week given to us by
Moki.
Moki, that's right. He asked us, who do you think would be the best Among Us players? Let's check out some of the community answers.
I am interested
on our
in
community voice. All right. CV, none would be the best Among Us player, right? With Scar. Scar would go full detective. None would randomly guess a person to get it right because he's none. And the hard reason is all he does. This has happened in Mafia. None was the vigilante one game.
Oh, that's right.
Although I think technically it might have been his neighbor.
That was Bond. And Bond, and everyone called out Bond, and Bond said, "No, I have the card." And he showed the card, so he died. It was insane. I loved it. Bond not being taught all the rules, but which is really on None not teaching Bond the rules. But it was cool.
And I will say with Scar, I can give a little bit of insight on this one. I think Scar is actually very good at picking up like party games or like games. I remember when I played, and he's not really into them, but he's very good at them. Like I remember I played Overcooked with him one time.
Okay.
And he was very quick to get very effective at Overcooked. And I've also played Among Us with him one time, and he ramped up really quickly. Like I would say like within minutes, he kind of had the flow of the game down. He was making educated decisions about who might have been where based on this, that, or the other. So yeah, I think the Scar one is right on the money. I mean, I think he only played Among Us like twice ever, and I thought he was very good. So I think that's actually a stellar answer. OBRG thinks Lyndon B. Johnson would be good, but edits in. As for Melee people, I think Blur would be the best. I just kind of feel like he'd be nasty.
Do you know? So it's always kind of interesting whenever I see the Blur hype, because I wonder how much of this, right?
Listen.
Because we've seen a lot of stuff with Blur on one end of things, right? But I wonder if there's a world of possibly Blur's making, but of possibly other people's making, where Blur has
he's good at things.
He has some sick stuff, right? We've heard about his TOing prowess from Blur mainly, but we've heard about it.
In the Slay the Spire community, Blur is supposed to be incredible. He's apparently known to be one of the greats. Like, people in that community talk about Blur like, oh my god, that Blur guy.
We talk about him the way Blur does.
Yeah. To be honest with you, they do. But it's quite insane. I mean, I know, one of mine started playing Slay the Spire kind of recently, and he was like, well, on one hand, this game is really cool, but on the other hand, there is now a thing that I do that I'm just worse than Blur at, and I don't know if my ego can handle it.
That is tough.
Yeah. So I don't know. Dude, here's the thing about Among Us. I feel like there's when you're trying to convince people of your viewpoint, I do think it helps to have a lot of conviction. Which Blur has in spades. Lots of conviction.
Yes.
Now, on the flip side, if you're wrong about something and you have a lot of conviction, then you can really quickly steer people down the wrong path.
Right, and that carries over between games, right? Like, if you need people to stray as town, and then you were your town again, and you're like, no, okay, look, I was wrong before, but hey, this time, though, people will remember. People hold a grudge in Mungie.
Yeah.
And that's tough for Blur. He can maybe he gets it right 9 out of 10 times, but everyone remembers the one. It's tough being Blur, man. I think Blur would want me to say that.
I think he would want us to say that. It is tough being Blur. Hyperglamios says Loki Wizard would be the best. He's our Melee Zuckerberg. I don't know what the thing about
that is. That's a strange comment, right? Because isn't the meme about Zuckerberg that he doesn't know what's going on with people and how do you do
he's like a reptilian. Okay, but on the flip side, but that would make him a good imposter, I think is what this person's saying.
Okay.
He might not be good at sussing out the imposters, but if he's an imposter, he's going to be a tough nut to crack.
Okay, I feel that, honestly. So then you don't know how he's playing, because he's always straight faced. He's always he's even toned. Okay. You know what? I feel that.
He is even toned. And then we got, it's a lot of letters. Yeah. CV Isaiah would be the best Among Us player if he tried. That's
well said.
If he tried.
I freaking love Isaiah. I'll say it. I've said it a few times in Golden Guardians production.
Dude, did you ever play him?
No.
Me neither. Yeah. Okay.
No, that was before me. Isaiah was pretty much done by the time I started.
I think you and I started playing around the same time.
Yeah, it was
probably
summer 2007.
Oh, okay. I was summer 2008. I guess I was a year after you, but
yeah, Isaiah was big done.
Big done. Well, listen, rankings. You always got ranked really high. I always got ranked.
Yes, love that for you, by the way.
Yeah, which
people were saying, they were like, "Oh, this guy could only commentate," but you were out here getting ranked, man. I got ranked.
I got ranked a couple years in a row. I did get ranked. Maybe one day I'll get ranked again, but that year is not this year, because let me tell you, this list is stacked.
Yeah,
and there's only 30 of them. It's not enough to be top 100 this year.
Do you
think top 30?
If people were just listening, maybe it would be good to kind of go through and talk about who's on there and where it ends, who's in what tier, kind of establish a framework.
Let's establish a framework. Okay, so first of all, I'm sure some people out of the loop, out of touch Thursdays, all that stuff. Might be wondering, well, damn, why is it only top 30 this year? And the reason was because I think PG decided, you know what? There's not as much data, obviously, because there haven't been as many tournaments this year because of COVID. let's not do a proper rankings where we give a number to each person. Let's sort them into tiers. Let's say these people are basically functionally, they did about the same. And then these people did better than that, and so on and so forth. And I think because of that, you kind of get this sense with the top 100 rankings. I always felt like, the upper end of the rankings, there was a lot of granularity. You could really, you could look at the top 10 or the top 15 and be like, okay, yeah, they each placing matters a lot. But you could kind of look at the bottom end of those rankings, the top 100s. Like, I don't know. I would look through the 70s and 80s, and I would say, I don't really feel like any given person in the top, like sometimes you'd be like, this person that they rank 84th is clearly better than this person they ranked 76th.
I think what happened, if you looked at the numbers that people were given, they would often be so close, they would almost be like in a tier.
Yeah.
So that's how it worked out.
Yeah. And so I think this year, they basically said, you know what, because you lose so much of that granularity when you get towards the top 100 range, let's just do the top 30. Let's do a number where you feel like you can kind of meaningfully sort these people, at least at all.
Right, and I think part of the issue too, from what I heard anyway, was it was hard to get data because not everyone traveled as much, or there just weren't as many offline events, or Europe was going to be more excluded because there's just hard internet connection that works that far away, and there weren't that many offline events to give them that much representation. So that's why the tier list is North America, but there is Sora and there was another person that was on here. I'm looking for them, not finding them at the moment. Oh, we have the list on screen.
Love
very
that.
nice.
So
Thank
good.
you. But yeah, we had Sora and someone else here that I'm missing somehow, but I think we had a little bit of not NA on here, which is a little odd, but I guess they just had enough activity requirements to get in, which was
cool. AMSA, I guess, right? AMSA would be Japan.
But yes, that's right.
Yeah, because AMSA went to Leffen only went to that one summit. AMSA went to at least both summits. So I guess Moki, by the way, I think was another person who notably got a shout out as a hidden boss because the only real event that he did go to Pinnacle, but Pinnacle I believe won. It was a Canadian event and he beat Sensei None, and then Summit 11 he got 9th. Didn't do good at that tournament. It was kind of one of his more disappointing tournaments, and so it's kind of like, okay, well, if we're gonna rank him just based off of those two, like it kind of wouldn't do him it would do him a disservice. And therefore, it looks like a lot of the panelists just decided not to rank him, which I think
there were some people that didn't, some people that did. I think Moki himself may have wanted him to be ranked. I don't remember for sure, but I think
I don't even
because
know.
of that, they said he was maybe.
Dude, he would have been 17th. That would have been bad. It would have been ugly.
Okay, I think I saw mock-up someone had of him being A or B tier. So
nice.
I guess there was some argument to put him higher. I'm not familiar with all the data. I'm not a panelist, but I can just tell you what I saw. And
even B's pretty good.
Yeah, even a lot of great players in B. I mean, in all the tiers, obviously, but certainly strong players in B.
PP, who's a player that you're looking at this and you're just like, wow, this person's notably absent. That's crazy. I can't believe this person is missing. Okay, I'll start. Couldn't help but notice the best player in the world ever by far is absent, and that's Dreffen. Can't believe Dreffen's not on here.
Dude, insane. When Dreffen was playing Cody, I forget which online tournament it was. I think it was last month. But they were playing, and Dreffen was in the corner, and he stood still for a minute, and then he just full hop dared, and Cody full hopped into it. I was like, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
It was amazing. It was really good.
I could not believe what I was seeing. I will say someone that did surprise me being on. I don't know if I'd really thought about anyone being off, but someone was kind of surprised seeing on. A name I've heard talked about a little, but not much, was Slug.
Slug
doesn't get talked about a lot, but he sneaks in there in C tier, and I think he certainly had some good wins.
Yeah, I assume he's got some good wins. I know he's got some losses as well. Got double eliminated by, I think, No Fluxes at Super Smash Con, but that's going to happen. Icy's Ganon's a tough matchup. But yeah, it's cool to see Slug on here. Just in general, I think it's cool to see Ice Climbers represented. I've heard a lot of good things. Everyone who's played Slug speaks very highly of that player.
Smart player.
So I hear, yeah.
Something else that I can say something else that stands out.
Yeah.
Polish in A tier. I think this is pretty good for Peach. We do have Peach in, most of the tiers, which is also new and nice. But
yeah, Polish is like a very legitimate claim for top 10 in the world right now.
Yeah.
Can't really contest the results. I mean, winning SmashCon third at Smash World Tour NA East. What was it? Was it fourth at
Might have
Polish
been.
beat everyone from Europe at Smash World Tour. Just beat like everyone. Beat like 5 Spacey players. Beat I think third actually. Yeah, because I think Polish even beat Triff, which is insane.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say too, Triff. I think it was Triff that got fourth. I will say Triff is another player who.
I would really like to see Triff ranked because Triff was doing great before pandemic. I think top 10-ish was what some people were saying. And I mean, he still was looking top 10 at World Tour. I mean, so not see him ranked. I mean, obviously I understand lack of data, but it is sad. And because I think he's, really shown that he's been able to do well for a long period of time.
Yeah, Triff would probably end up right smack dab in that A tier. If we had a little more data to go with. But yeah, Triff absolutely insane. Polish absolutely insane. Cool that the Peaches are on the rise, I will say. I remember even Laud was kind of going a little bit inactive for a while. But Laud's kind of back in action, which is cool to see Laud right there in the B tier. Also, it is funny. I will just kind of take this opportunity to say I think it is funny how these letter names, like if I'm like, I don't know, Albert or whatever, it's like you're one of the top 30 players in the world, but you're like, yeah, I'm a C tier player. It sounds like you got a C on your report card, which is like not that good. Like, I feel like I'm a C tier player. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like those guys these are all various degrees of people who are getting A's. Maybe A minuses, but it's like, damn, C, like that's kind of low. Like, damn, if someone's top 40 or top 50, are they D tier? If someone's top 60, are they F? Are they failing? Are they getting an F? So it's kind of like, it's tough. It's hard to be, H-Box is A tier.
I mean, yeah, it's a strange world for that. I mean, it really goes to show that, I mean, you got to remember, a top 100 is a small fraction, a small percentage point of the community already.
Slice.
And then we divide these people up into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces like this. And I mean, we've talked before about the challenges of ranking and everything like that. Yeah, I mean, this is, you're putting some of the strongest players ever in C tier, even though they're top 30.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough for people probably.
Yeah.
And I guess
that's how it goes,
Yeah. That is just
it's
part
like
of the experience.
It's like with Michelin stars, Michelin stars, you can be 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. If you get any stars at all, you're doing great, right? You're one of the best restaurants in the world. But, when I hear, oh, this is a 1-star restaurant, I'm thinking, damn, like only 1 star on Yelp, that's really bad, right? It's like they're literally serving you dog shit. But no, right? So it's all about context. Is it 1 Michelin star or 1 Yelp star? So these are like Michelin letters. This is like Michelin C tier, not Yelp C tier. Yelp C tier is like, McDonald's, right? Michelin C tier is one of the best restaurants in the world. So you got to keep that in mind when you think about these letters.
Yeah, maybe be nice to C tier Twitch chat. But I will say something that I noticed one Melee Stats personality quite we'll say perturbed by, concerned by, maybe even upset by.
Yeah. All those words mean the same thing, but yeah.
Yeah. This was something regarding someone in S+ tier. There was an argument about whether there was the Mango Zane tier, whether there were more people involved in the tier. And so if you guys are looking at this, IBDW or Cody is another person there. And so, whether you want to talk about that or not is one thing, but it's something out there, and there are people that have some discussion about it.
It does feel like, okay, here's the thing. He won Summit 12. And so definitely, I
many
think,
good wins too on the way there. Did not have an easy bracket.
Beat a lot of really strong players. And so it's like for IBW, I feel like if he's first of all, if he's not literally winning that tournament, he probably wouldn't have been in the S plus tier.
Yeah.
Second of all, even in a world that had like, if there were more events, even like I wonder if he even would have like I don't know, like he would have just had to take more events, win more of these sets. But I mean, he did win Riptide over Plup.
Yes.
He I would say generally showed. I mean, he is clearly either top of S because he's clearly doing better than everyone in S, or he's so it's kind of like you could kind of see him in either one. I could see both S and S plus. Like he's either top of S or bottom of S plus. I guess that's how it feels.
Yeah, there were just people talking about some of his losses being a lot more significant than Mango or Zane's.
True. What are his losses?
I know he lost to Ginger and Kador, and I think it was at World Tour. It wouldn't have been East, so yeah, been World Tour. I know that those two happened, and I think there were one or two more, and I don't remember those off the top of my head, unfortunately.
He had an HBox loss. He lost to a couple people in the A tier.
Okay.
Essentially, I guess, like with me looking at this, he lost to Ginger, HBox, Kador, and those are all 8. And I guess he had a loss to Polish, right? I think he took one loss to Polish.
I think so, yes.
So, I don't know. I would say there's been volatility. Like, you in the community, you can have, like, there's always been cases, like Mango's kind of been this role in the past where, they'll, there have been years where, Mango had some kind of, lower, like, bad losses. I mean, I would say that these losses, I mean, they're still kind of top 10 players. So they're not that bad. I don't know. I would say, at the end of the day, he's probably number 3. I mean, okay, obviously Leffen notwithstanding, whatever.
Right.
Leffen's kind of an enigma right now, but he's probably number 3, and whichever tier you choose to categorize him into, it's probably fair game. I mean, his bad losses aren't even that bad, is what I'm trying to say here. There's more of them, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point. Again, I don't have all the data in front of me, which would help with this, but I just know that there were some people that wanted him put in S, and so I thought I'd bring that to people's attention, especially as those upward spots are, especially so prestigious, S plus and S. I'm having that really nice tiered ranking. Just thought I'd bring that to people's attention. I'm not trying to say one way or the other. Again, I'm not a panelist. I don't have all the data. I'm just saying this was something that people were talking about.
Well, if you have questions about the rankings, or if there's things you want us to address, again, make sure you join the Discord with !Radio Melee and type your question in the Submit Topics Here channel. I think we've got we're just about ready to get our first guest on, who is named Chicken. Welcome, Chicken. And where are you calling in from, and what's your question today?
Hi, I'm calling in from Houston, Texas, and my question today is, so currently I'm a sophomore in university, and I realize that there's a lot of interest in college sports, and that's a huge thing nationwide. And so given that a lot of the Melee player base are currently college students or in that like age, something like collegiate crew battles.
Oh, Toph, he doesn't know.
Something that was positively received before would do pretty good as like a mainstay event. And I think there's something really special about, representing your school, and that could lead to students recruiting friends into the game and, get viewership from like non-Melee player students. And so personally, I think it's kind of a missed opportunity at the moment. And I'm curious as if it could succeed as a side event, and why hasn't it already? And I know
it has in the past,
The Melee games.
The Melee games was a thing. Now I've heard that there is something similar that sort of currently exists. I know there's a like collegiate Slippi or something like that. I think there is something similar. I've heard rumblings of it, and I've also heard that Melee games apparently was adopted into like CSL Star League or something. Does anyone know if that's still going on? I don't know. I guess
I thought it died with Matt.Zeb. I thought he was running it, and he was just doing all kinds of stuff for it, and then he had to switch into a different role, a different job, and then
now he does Call of Duty.
Yeah.
something.
What a Chad. And I think it's just one of those. You're saying why isn't it a thing now? So if what I'm saying is correct, if it is, then it was just someone took initiative and they made it a thing, and then that person had to go on and do other things because they got a different job, and now no one took initiative, and that's all it is. It's still a good idea. It's still people have talked about it. They've said this is something that got me in the game. I made so many great memories. Being able to get flown out for this was really cool. All that stuff. I agree with you. There's nothing wrong with it. I guess right now it's harder because of quarantine and everything. I guess that would be the challenge right now. But Toph was talking about Slippi Collegiate League, something I'm not very familiar with. So maybe we can find a solution there. But yeah, no, it's still a good idea. I just think, again, a lot of the ideas that we have as a community, are good. We just need people that want to step up and do that, and usually not for not enough money for all their work, and that's usually what stops people. So that's all it is at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually have kind of a side question that branches off that, but it's still related. So actually, I recently I went to a big Texas regional in Austin, Texas called Sec Count. It was like a few months ago, and I noticed there that like a lot of the competitors had like university like gear on, right, including me. So then, like later, I DM the TO, Peachy Keen. You might know him. He's a big Texas TO.
Yeah.
Right, and we had a whole discussion about it, and he said apparently before they actually tried to do it, but it was kind of a mess because like maybe some people didn't show up or some people canceled, and
Oh, really?
like I'm sure like TO stuff like that is hard in general, but I feel like it's something we should still really give a try because like
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if it's like this for other regions where Texas, there's just so many like big name brand schools, and like Austin being in the middle of that makes it just like the perfect location for a bunch of like like a really good like a collegiate like scene.
Sure.
And I feel like it could really thrive if given another chance.
Yeah, I mean, were there prizes? Were there cash prizes? And if not, if that might be why people didn't show up as much. I don't know, because I know that was something the Melee games had, at least for something like finals or whatever.
They had cash
Yeah.
prizes.
Yeah.
I don't actually know. I don't think I was involved at that time. But yeah, I did think it's a really interesting topic that I don't hear much discussion about, and it probably is something like PP mentioned, where it is a good idea, but people just haven't taken the initiative to it.
Good
Which
idea.
I'm sure it's like one of those things where it's harder said than done. But I think that maybe if it is hard to organize, maybe like I know traditionally it's like a 5v5 type of thing. Maybe it could be like a smaller team count or whatever, just to make it like easier to coordinate. But I think it would be something cool to like try to play around with in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, sure, you know what? I guess I'll say this: if a TO is listening and they want to do this, reach out to me. I'll see if I could throw some money towards it, make it happen. I'd like to see this happen because I think it's a good thing for Melee, and
that's how I got into Melee. Was collegiate Melee. I mean, there weren't crew battles back then, but it was a club. We had a Smash club at the University of Washington. That's how I got interested in the game. So
yeah,
I mean. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool. I mean, this does seem like the kind of thing that Golden Guardians would even be interested in. Throwing.
Actually, yeah.
So
yeah, reach out to me and then I'll reach out to Golden Guardians. Let's do that instead.
Yeah, but someone's got to put it together is the thing, and
yeah.
And
I know TOs all have I think there's a group where TOs can talk and things like that. So if you're a TO and you're in a group like that, introduce the idea. See if you want to work with anyone. It can be regional at first even, and then see if it can expand. Start somewhere. I think the main thing is to start, right? And if you can get in touch, I guess if you're a TO interested, see if you can talk to Matt Dodzeb. He has a lot of experience. I'm sure he has a lot of guidance he could give.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much for your response. It was really cool to hear a very experienced like input on that.
Yeah, I mean, great question. I think it's a great thing to bring up. That's kind of why I like this show. We get to talk about this kind of stuff. So thank you for bringing it up. You got any shout outs for us on your way out today, chicken?
I would say shout outs to Anthony Tran, aka Dovico, who's a very big household name in Houston, a prominent TO, and someone who really got me into Melee recently.
Cool. Shout outs. Shout out to TOs. So
yes,
important.
Sir.
All right. Thank you, chicken.
Right.
Take care.
Thank you all. You have a good day. Bye.
You too. Good first question. Love that. And looks like we might be prepared for our second. I'm not entirely sure. But if we are, let's see if we can bring him in.
Yeah,
But if not, we're gonna stall.
Totally. Yeah, might be still doing audio check. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looks like an audio check.
I hope we can make it happen. I always thought that Melee Games was a really, really cool initiative. I guess that was running for a couple years.
As far as I 3-ish, 4-ish, I believe.
3 or 4. Yeah, some good players got to participate in that. H2A, what's up? Yeah, I remember Santiago was participating one year for UC Irvine. I think, as far as I know, UC Irvine basically always won the Melee Games, which kind of makes sense. But would love to see it come back in some form.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I saw it going on and I was like, oh, is this really doing anything? But then when it stopped and I saw so many people saying, oh, this made such a big difference in my life, I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, this was cool. I had no idea. So sometimes I think it's one of those situations where we have good things and we don't know it till it's gone, right? Like if we didn't, it's kind of like the top 100. Everyone argues about it or whatever, or we even complain about the summit funding, but then, we finally bring the summit back and everyone's excited for it, or we finally get to do some rankings and everyone's glad we're able to do that, and we see that it helps with people getting sponsored and everything. So, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. Sometimes you don't know you got it till it's gone.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know how to stall further, Toph.
We must have an audio situation going on with our next caller. It feels like that might be the case here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we can check with someone else or whatever, but yeah. I mean, there's a lot of cool initiatives going on, like King of the Cube, right, Toph?
That is going on. We're trying to get some King of the Cube based guests in for future Radio Melee weeks. As a matter of fact,
yes.
But King of the Cube has finally moved to the West Coast. Lucky took it for the West Coast, so now I'm looking to get some West Coast players on. Which,
and for the people who don't know, what is King of the Cube, though?
That's the question. That's the real question. That's the question. That's the mystery of history, right there. And it's a weekly series where I put up some money and Red Bull puts up some money, and we pay out the winner of their first of 5 exhibition matches. But the best part is if you win, you come back. So if you lose, you go home forever, never to be seen or heard from again.
Yes.
And if you win, then you come back the next week and you play the next opponent.
And you have a cool crown.
And you have a cool crown. Especially if you're Gatsu. So,
and check that out on Toph's channel, YouTube, and Twitch. But now it looks like we actually have our caller in.
There we go.
MPG, what's up? How's it going? Where are you calling in from?
How's it going? I'm calling in from Denver, Colorado.
Hey, shout out to Colorado. What's your question for us today?
So, and sorry if my voice sounds raspy. I'm on day 4 of COVID.
No, you sound good.
Total struggle.
Good. Good luck, though. Good luck.
Oh, thanks, bud.
You're welcome.
All Chat Esports recently raised the entry fee for the Salt Mine, which was kind of like the premier Thursday net play tournament on the East Coast, to $5. $1 of that.
Wow.
It was free.
Okay.
And a little background. It's a $250 pot, which is why it became large. So they raised the entry fee to $5. $1 of that goes to something of a community budget, is what it's called, where All Chat will try and lift up smaller events or try to improve normally overlooked roles in the Melee community. Examples being commentators, seeders, TOs, production value of the stream being held with the tournament, stuff like that. And I was wondering, between the two of you, what areas within the Melee scene, either LAN or net play, do you believe would possibly be best helped with something like a community budget?
Oh man, there are so many things that need money in this community. We were just talking about one thing.
Yeah. The crew battle idea, the college crew battle idea. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really like, I think there's a to give you an idea of something where this is like a thing I heard from the chess community. Apparently in India, which is a country where chess like got really, really big over the last couple decades, thanks to like Grandmaster Viswanathan. There's an initiative where if you're a Grandmaster, like every Grandmaster basically has like a company that just sponsors them, and you don't have to work. Like you're on their salary, but you just play chess, and even if you're not doing so well in tournaments or whatever, you have this basic income that you're going to have, and you're always going to have that to basically to allow you to pursue the highest level play you can have, right?
Wow.
Which to a certain degree is kind of like being on an esports team in that sense, right? It's basically like you're being sponsored. But I'm just like imagining like, how many, it's still pretty hard to get on a top esports team in the Melee community because like obviously we don't have any formal obviously there's no franchise league or anything like that. There's no there's going to be an official circuit, but we'll see how that pans out. And it's just the kind of thing where like there's so many people for whom especially when you look at like the really necessary roles in the community, like TOs, and it's not just like literally even amongst the term TO, there's so many different roles. There's literally the bracket runners, there's the seeders, there's they're the people that, when you look at TOing, there's like the people that go and actually gather sponsors versus the people that are more on the ground and they're putting things together. And then there's production. Most of these people are not making that much money, and in fact, often stand to lose a lot of money. So it's kind of a bummer in that sense. And so, yeah, I just think that like, there's so many like ways for people to contribute that I feel like people would contribute if only they stood to kind of have something to gain, I suppose. But, at the same time, I get that, it's a labor of love for a lot of people, and a lot of people would do it even if there was no money, and that's basically the world we're in right now. But yeah, it would be cool. And this is also, by the way, to directly address the salt mine thing. This is also why I always think, if I don't know if that got any pushback. I don't know if there were any people that are like, oh my God, I can't believe they're charging $5 for this thing that I feel like should be free. But I always feel like, that's totally legit. Yeah, there were a few. Yeah, I bet.
I thought there would have been a decent amount. That's pretty cool. There wasn't too much then.
I don't know. I'm always just like, dude, it's like $5 of your dollars, but like that, I don't know. It's kind of bizarre. It's bizarre to me that people complain about that because, it's so much. I guess once you've seen the other side of things, it's like you kind of wonder how people do it at all, Like I'm very lucky that for whatever reason, commentary is considered a role where like you deserve to be paid, but like there's a lot of other, I would say, much more important roles that that for some reason in our community people don't think should make money or something, but it's like as soon as these people disappear, it like PP said, you don't know what you got till it's gone. So it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, if I could highlight, Toph has talked about, he's brought up a lot of great positions. And I, instead of talking about all the possible groups that could be helped, if I had time, I would think about, whatever this budget could go best to, for however much I could expect it to get and what that could do. I don't really have an idea of those sort of numbers or what we could even do with however much money they're raising. I don't know if it'll be, it might take a while for it to be $1,000 even, but two groups that always kind of spring to mind, especially lately. I learned that I think it was Main Stage, maybe it was a different event I'm thinking of, but there was an event last year that ran long, and one of the reasons it ran long is because there weren't a lot of volunteers. And volunteers are volunteers for a reason, but it'd be nice to pay those people something,
Right.
And also ensure there are more people at the events. And I understand that's for, offline, but that's still, what those people are doing is very important because especially when you're a pool captain, you're responsible for getting the craziest part of the tournament to eliminate the most amount of people and getting that done as efficiently as possible. That's a very, very important job of the tournament. I think a lot of people probably don't respect that, or they're just like, I don't want to deal with it, or, whatever, right? And so I want to highlight them. And another group of people that I think, and I know these people can make money off their work, but I also know that they can get a lot of flack and it can be hard too, or the artists. Sometimes where your booth gets set up at a tournament determines if you can get any sales at all, and there can be problems with that, or there just isn't enough space for everyone that does have talent. And then, is it worth it to get started if people are going to say, was it worth doing your work or not? And again, I know that these people can make money, and I'm not saying that no one does, but I think, I've talked about it a few times on the show before, and I think art is just something that is such a good outreach for the community. People, it gets it can get a lot of traction online, and it can bring people in. You're like, oh, this is a way of sharing our excitement for the game in a way maybe people outside the community don't understand, but they can see it through the art, for example. And so I think it's a good medium to help us grow as a community that I don't think gets talked about enough. And I'm not saying maybe it's the most important or whatever, but it is something that I don't think gets talked about. And so I wanted to highlight them and volunteers, and whether those are the two most important or not, I don't have any way to tell you, but those are people I'd like to highlight.
Yeah. Just to harken back about the size of the budget, it would probably roughly be about $250 a month.
Okay.
So
interesting that it's a regular type of payment too. That's it's an interesting aspect of it. I almost wonder if it's something regular like that, can it, I know we have the Golden Guardians Grassroots Fund. I'm not sure if we're doing that again this year or not, but instead of sending that to a TO, because I would think Golden Guardians is maybe doing more of that, but maybe if it's a smaller project to get off the ground, maybe it's better for all chat to go with that. And then, we were talking about the collegiate stuff. Maybe it could even go to getting that off the ground. Maybe that's enough to get a regional scene started. I'm not sure, but yeah, those are at least some places to also be considering, because if you're having a monthly payment, maybe you're having something monthly come up, or maybe you save it up and then you try and do something big and you try to help a scene that has some decent players. I think Colorado representative from there called in before, and they said, we have a good scene, but we're just too far away from everyone. Maybe you help that scene out, fly some other people in, or have an event that has a bigger pot bonus so more players play online or whatever, right? And then there's more exposure for the talent there. And so I think there are various ways you could use it. A lot of causes we've talked about that could go there, and it's just a matter of figuring out what's going to be the most value, or maybe a better question is, because there's so many things we can do. What do I want to do the most? What mark do I want to leave on the scene if you're all chat or a viewer, or you're some of the enters and want to have a say in where your money goes?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the all chat maybe sponsoring Colorado events, because all chat has sponsored a Colorado event before.
Oh man, they're on the ball.
They are. They're all very smart and handsome, from what I hear. And
you wouldn't happen to be affiliated, would you?
I'm the owner of the company.
Okay,
nice.
I was starting to wonder. Hey, but good stuff you guys are doing. That's awesome.
Thanks. Mm-hmm. I appreciate it. But we sponsored something and gave them some cash, and they spent all of the money we gave them on Kool-Aid jammers.
Interesting. Maybe that's what the community needs.
Do you feel like that was a healthy investment? Do you guys think you got that benefited? Okay, cool. As long as you feel good about it.
I loved it. It was actually my first LAN event, because I'm a Slippi kid. So
nice. Shout outs. I mean, you're a Slippi kid. You're already doing great stuff. You're doing great stuff for the community, coming in with Slippi. That's awesome.
That's right. Our favorite people.
Thanks. And just to also, the last question being about crew battles, All Chat is starting a series on regional crew battles called Tri-State versus the World. So be on the lookout for that.
Awesome. Well, hey, I think New York has a lot of passion for their scene, so I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys can do to collaborate with that.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
Cool. I know I ended up talking a lot, Toph. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add on to the budget or the monthly payments or anything.
No, I just hope, I don't know. To a certain degree, I kind of feel like, I almost feel like it's like, it sucks that, it is the way it is. But at the same time, like, we're always going to kind of need some people with some sort of volunteer spirit. I feel like,
I agree with that.
There's even if we get an influx of money, into the scene or whatever, I don't think every single person is going to be, paid adequately until I don't know. I just feel like that we're so far off from that dream. And I actually wouldn't be surprised if a lot of other video game scenes that we look at it and feel like, oh, they're doing so much better. I think this is probably the case in a lot of esports scenes still. I think even in the tier 1 esports, I think there are a lot of people that are probably underpaid relative to how much work they're putting in. And I kind of feel like, it's like, yeah, it sucks on one hand, but on the other hand, it's like, well, I mean,
we still have a grassroots
is.
spirit here. We still do have a grassroots spirit here,
so,
and it's something that on this show, I think we do so much talking about. How can we tap into that? How can we make the most of that? I mean, I think if there's one thing we talk about more than anything else, is what can we do for the community? That's our general question, and we do our best to answer it here. And I wish I had more answers for everyone, but I think all chat calling in here talking about this, I think, is showing that this is we're going to do stuff. We're going to make things happen, and it starts with $250 a month. Maybe it grows into the biggest thing we have. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Every week, if it goes over 50 entrants, we raise the pot bonus by $1 for every entrant. So last week was actually, I believe, $301.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fun.
Looking like Ludwig out here, adding the $1 onto the end of your tournament to make it look cooler.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta keep trying to pump it up. So 301, maybe 302 next week. Who knows?
Yeah, very nice. Keep the bar high.
Best of luck with that.
Yeah, thank you for calling in. And you got any shout outs for us on your way out today?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, I feel like this was a little bit of a plug anyway, but shout out to All Chat Esports, especially the players that have made the experience of owning an org so nice. So JFlex, Too Good, and BBats are two sponsored players, a sponsored commentator on Hada. And you were talking about the types of TOs that go and get sponsorships. So I have to plug MDJ, one of the other owners of All Chat, who got us a sponsorship with Mass Drop.
Which very nice.
Which very much helps run the salt mine. So shout out to that. Check out our YouTube. Tri-State versus the World is about to go up, and right now we have a commentary coaching series with Hada. So if you guys would like to check that out, or ever come commentate a salt mine, you guys know that you're welcome.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, take care.
Excellent.
You'd never know that guy was sick. Had a lot of good stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I thought he sounded great.
Yeah, I agree.
For what it's worth. Well, I will also say I had COVID, and I will say day 4 is a lot better than I feel like day 2 is the day where you're like, oh God, I'm gonna die.
Very fair.
Day 2 is the rough one. By day 4, you're typically feeling better. Well, hope he's feeling better in any case.
Yeah, I hope so.
About time to get our next caller in. It's a return customer and one of our longtime friends of the show, Run Riot, one of the best doubles players in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Back at it again. What's your question today, Run Riot?
That's a generous opening. What's up? I had a question. I've been thinking about this and arguing this with my personal Smash Discord. I'm wondering what you guys think would be the best team character-wise in Melee triples.
Oh God!
Character-wise, not player-wise, but character-wise.
Character-wise, yes.
In triples,
it's not.
So, are we not factoring in things that crash the game?
No, we're not.
Okay.
I think it's 2 foxes and then something else. I think it's got to start with 2. It's got to start with 2 foxes. Well, does it? Because I almost feel like the melee stages are so small relative to triples that
triples.
Maybe suddenly triple peach is really good. that would be so annoying. I would hate to fight triple peach.
Ooh, triple peach on net play? That might be a good answer.
Unlike Yoshi's story.
Oh no, down smash.
I don't know.
So big on the level.
I always love this
sounds
question.
Miserable to fight.
I love this question because people instantly people they have an answer and then they're like, but what if,
Yeah.
Somebody, people.
So you've thought about this. You've thought about this for a while, is what you're saying. And, is there?
You want to just tell us?
Yeah. So you've played triples, I assume, because you've played a lot of doubles, and doubles is just smaller triples. So you probably you played triples. What's the meta looking like there for you?
I think triple fox has too many diminishing returns, if that makes sense. Like the third fox, obviously fox is really good, but I mean, how much could you really do, right? Like how much could you really impact? I mean,
it's another up smash and shine, right? That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good start. I think it's double fox chic as the best.
I told you it was 2 foxes and something else.
Yeah,
I told you.
You did say that. That's true.
You think it's 2 foxes and a sheik?
Yeah, Peach is also up there. It depends. I think it honestly depends on the stage. Like, the difference between Yoshi's in Dreamland and Triples is, big enough where Peach actually becomes a counter pick.
Okay. What about two foxes and a puff? How's that? Or is Puff just not even?
I don't think
She a
Puff
little
can
flimsy
do
in
enough in
triples?
triples. Yeah, I don't
Because
think
there's
she
too
can
much
be
going
very
on, right?
productive.
There's too much going on. There's too much going on. How are you going to rest? You're never going to get a rest setup. There's always
Yeah, it's
5
way
people
too
flying around
chaotic.
here.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of the meta, right? Like if you're Fox, you do an up throw and Puff is more hanging back behind the Fox and they ever DI away, then that's rest, right? I don't know if you can.
Dude, there's probably someone right there, PB. There's
Yeah, the
5
front
other
lines
people on
are
the
rough.
screen.
Front
Yeah,
lines of
You don't think if
triples are
Puff
rough,
hangs
dog.
around the periphery, you don't think that's good enough? I don't know what the meta's like. I'm just assuming maybe the Puff can hang around a little bit. Maybe Fox goes for a down throw, and then we just see where they land. If they happen to tech away, Puff's there. If not, Puff gets someone else. There's always someone there, like you're saying. I don't know.
It's a crazy world.
I have no idea what the meta is like. I watched it I remember there was when it first came out. I think it was was it Pittsburgh? I don't remember exactly, but I think there was a tournament where they had triples.
It would be Pittsburgh.
And I watched the finals, and I think it was. I don't remember how long it was, but I sat there and I laughed for I think about 7 minutes. It was insane. I learned nothing about the game or triples. It was unreal what I experienced, and so I don't know if the meta has progressed. I'm not sure, man. All I know is I'm concerned about this question now.
I love this question.
Yeah.
Nobody's thought about it, not even for a second.
No, because I always thought you would just like things would crash, right? Do you think it's different online and offline? Because you did say that you were talking about I forget what you said earlier, Run Right. You said something about trying to deal with something on NetPlay. So do you have a concern that maybe the online and offline meta are different because there's so many inputs going in, so many computers going into a spot?
I think honestly, if there were triples on Slippi, the meta is to have an Ethernet cable and a good computer. That's the meta.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if you intentionally just go Wi-Fi and you want to boost your Peach performance? Do you think that?
Oh, you'll boost it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
You'll boost it?
I mean, what about
you'll
that,
boost it.
right? Maybe you get excited and you just accidentally kick the router. You didn't mean to. You just there's a play going on.
I want to tell an anecdotal story here. Speaking of kicking routers,
okay.
I ran into this guy. Chat, let me know if anyone has any intel on this guy. This isn't triples, but it's about lag. I played this guy. He was a Falcon player named Lag Switch Larry on Slippi, and he would taunt at weird times. Like he just taunt in the middle of stocks, and I noticed that when he taunted, the ping would spike like crazy. And
his taunts were unbeatable.
I actually think he might have configured like a setup with like an Arduino or something where when he taunts with his controller, when he presses up on his D-pad, it actually causes a spike in his network connections.
That's crazy.
I can
HT,
honestly...
you played this person. This is a thing, right? This guy. This is. If anyone has any information on Lag Switch Larry, please let me know. I'm trying to find out more about this technology and about
Lag Switch Larry about to go undercover for a while.
And I noticed it first because he kept taunting at weird times, like not like oh, he took a stock and then he taunt or whatever. Like we'd be fighting and he'd like back off, go on a platform and taunt. And I was like, what? And then it would lag like crazy. I was like,
unpunishable taunts.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to know more about this technology. Anyway, back to you, Run Riot. I didn't want to fully derail your question.
Yeah. No, I mean, you didn't hear this from me. I've been playing a NetPlay a while, but we had somebody I won't name their tag in NetPlay tournaments. When they'd get wobbled, they'd spam the Windows key and it would slow the game down. But you didn't hear it from me.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you didn't hear it from me.
Amazing. That's amazing.
I don't think anyone heard that, but yeah, that's
crazy.
Well, this is something I did theorize this back in the day, back on delay-based netcode, because I remember, back then, you guys got to remember, this was also pre rollback netcode, but it was also pre wobbling ban. So wobbling was legal, and ICs were everywhere. They were very common to find ICs, especially in the higher ranks. Sometimes you'd be looking for an opponent if you cared about rank, which I did because I'm easily motivated by simple things. I'm a simple man, and shiny badges, give me endorphin.
You were
rushes.
trying to tier up, just like we had with the rankings earlier.
Precisely. And sometimes the only way to do that, the only platinum players online would be ICs players. So you'd play them, and there was this kind of weird, the meta was like a loop, where if it was a good connection, you're doing great. You're gonna be fine. You're probably gonna win. If it's a bad connection, all right, you're gonna miss some L cancels. You know, it's gonna get spicy and you're gonna get grabbed. You're not gonna be playing at your peak. There's gonna be all these lag spikes. You're gonna get grabbed. You're gonna get wobbled. But if it's laggy enough, it loops all the way back around, and it again becomes bad for the Ices player because now they can't wobble anymore because it's so spiky that they drop their wobbles. And that's actually it's like do or die. So you could fight the blue connections on the Ices guys. You could fight the red connections, and you'd probably be fine because they'll drop their wobbles. They can't wobble you anymore. So it turned into this whole thing, and you kind of try to you just had to avoid those middle of the road connections. Those are the ones you didn't want.
Yeah, so again, 3 Ices and triples, they probably win, is what you're saying.
Well, you beat them with the power of numbers. It's like that fight from the second Matrix movie.
You might be able to beat triple Ices with 1 Peach if you play well enough.
That's
I'm
true.
not gonna lie.
Yeah, you might. You actually might. That's a good point.
Yeah, go good.
No. Well, I was gonna ask you when you're. Well, tell your what you're gonna say first, but I also wanted to ask you who are the best because you asked the question in terms of characters. I wanted to ask you who you think the best. I guess besides yourself and Tempo, I'm sure you all are very strong at it. Who are some of the other players that you think are really strong at triples? Tell your story first.
Yeah. Okay. My first impression thinking about this question is every character that doesn't need space gets better, obviously, and every character that does gets worse.
Like Falcon
gets
worse.
Right. Falcon, Marth, and Puff.
Puff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any character that has no strong approach is like not almost useless, but it's way more tough because in doubles you can force the issue if just one person kind of removes themselves from the situation and then they're forced to deal with it. But in triples, no, you're getting ignored. Like everybody's just scrapping, going going ham on each other.
So you're saying it's basically an aggro fest.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So if it's on aggro fest, then why would you want a third character Sheik instead of a third Fox? She doesn't have like the same approaching capabilities.
I think Sheik is more consistent at higher percents from getting blown up in triples specifically. And
so
also needles are insane.
So Sheik is basically the maybe the stock tank, maybe the life support, maybe the consistency so that the Foxes can do the aggro, and you think that's good?
And she can
and down
scrap,
smash.
right? Like Sheik's really good. Yeah, that was what I was thinking. Like down smash until it's like I feel like given that there's probably just gonna be so little space, you're always right next to your opponent, and like Sheik is totally down to scrap. It's like the closer you are to Sheik, if you're not literally shining her, then she's happy. Like if you're shining her, okay, great, you shined her. But on the flip side, like everything else is like Sheik just wants to be right on top of you.
Did Sheik up tilt in triples? I'm just saying.
It sounds really good.
that sounds great. I'm getting hit by 100 of those in a row because the hit lag on hitting other people.
Oh god. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No, Sheik sounds really strong. Peach sounds really strong. It sounds like the good doubles characters that are really good just get better. What about the one I'm a little obviously this is all theory right now. I've never played it, but if there's one character that I don't know how I feel. What about Falco? Does Falco get worse or better?
I think he honestly stays maybe the same, if not a little better. His down air in knockdowns alone in triples would be crazy.
Well, the thing about Falco is he can't even use lasers now, right? There's just too much stuff happening for him to even get one out. But he can wall people out okay, but I don't think that's worth it for getting blown up because that was the problem with Fox, right?
Well, lasers allow you to be more productive from farther away. Like, Falco on the side platform honestly could control an insane amount of the game state in triples. Like, any scramble that happens, whatever comes after it, is somewhat controlled by someone who doesn't have to put themselves at risk, usually.
Yeah, okay.
As much as you can in triples, because, I mean, you're gonna get blown up in triples. Nobody gets away from that.
Okay, and so you think his controlling of... Well, go ahead, Toph.
No, I was just gonna say they should add. They got to put Big Battlefield in. You know the Smash 4 stage, Big Battle. It's just Battlefield, but there's more platforms. There's like 2 layers of platforms, like a double-decker Battlefield. They got to put Big Battlefield in.
Double-decker.
Yeah, they actually just got to do that.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway,
when's quads?
Oh, yeah, I'll start thinking about it. I appreciate you bringing it up. I'll get on that.
Yeah, we're really. If we can't help you with triples, we can at least help you take things a little farther. That's our job here on Radio Melee. We're innovators first and foremost.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love this quote. It's just such a goofy. I don't know. It's a thought provoker for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting. I mean, because you can see that Melee had teams in mind with the way they designed some of the stages anyway, but triples, you can just see that's just too many. That's too many gamers one spot.
Yeah. No plans for 6 ports on the GameCube for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, wonderful exploration we went on today with you, Run Riot. Thank you for calling in. Do you have any shout outs for us today on your way out?
Ooh, yeah, I wanna, I guess, shout out Toph, because that King of the Cube set was an amazing opportunity.
Oh, that was really fun.
That was
Everyone
cool.
go watch that on the YouTube if you haven't seen it.
Hey, I don't want to be that guy. Close 5-0. I don't want to be that guy, but it was a close 5. Dude, they're the best team in the world. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah. No, I feel it. Listen, it was better. A better 5-0 than Left and Chillin'. I'll give y'all that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, thank you for putting some respect. No offense,
PBH. No offense. And I'm sure none taken. I'm sure none taken.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, very nice.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, well, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for calling in.
I appreciate it. Have a good one.
See ya. What a gamer.
Yeah.
The me and you episodes, they're wild, man.
They do get wild for whatever reason. That's just kind of how they go, you know?
Yeah, I like it though.
Kind of how they go.
We got one more. Let's see what they've got for us.
Yeah.
Morcow. If you want to let us know how the pronunciation is and where you're calling in from, that'd be great.
Evening, actually.
Evening.
My name's Marco. I am from the UK. You can probably tell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to be a bit quiet because it's really late for me.
No worries.
All right, you sound great. We can hear you loud and clear.
Great. Okay.
What's your question for us today?
I'm gonna keep it short. My question is, it's kind of a bad question, but besides rank Slippi, what are like the top 3 things you'd want to see implemented next on the Slippi client?
Oh, after ranked.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to see. Oh man, I had some good idea. Okay, I have an easy one. I'll start with an easy one. And then maybe we'll go to PP, and then we'll come back to me for the third one. Okay, my easy one is I miss, and maybe the way to do this is only permit it in Direct Connect, but I miss being able to hold A and B to reset the stage. I think it's really nice to have. I get why it would be kind of a bad idea in unranked because people would abuse it. But when you're direct connect to someone, remember the days of A and B? People, maybe Slippi kids don't even know about A and B. But you hold A and B, and it's also not in the vanilla game. It's only in 20XX, Uncle Punch. But you can hold A and B, and it resets the stage, takes you right back. You can zip right back on it. Salty run back. They also have an A and X, I believe. I think people don't know as much about A and X, but A and X lets you. It's like a soft reset, but you go to a different stage. But anyway, I really miss those. I really do miss holding A and B, aka run that shit back mode. I miss that feature a lot. I really do. I would like to see it added to Slippi. And, again, you probably have to do it. You probably have to do it direct only. I just think if you put it on ranked, I think people would spend the fuck. It would be toxic and it'd be obnoxious. So yeah.
You would have a lot of 3-hour sessions on one stage as 2 gamers attempt to assert dominance.
Yeah, pretty much. Or you just take a stock off some Falco and they just A and B you, and it's like, dude, come on, man.
Oh yeah.
Or you wouldn't even be able to quit out on them because you're trying to get back to the character select screen and they hold A and B, so it runs it back. Maybe the way you do it, honestly, on ranked is like, or is both players have to hold it or something. I don't know. Anyway, whatever.
You put it in the quick chat so that they know you're trying to do it or something.
Ooh, yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm. There's some way to do it. But anyway, I do miss that feature. So that's my number one. It's not much, but it's something. Work. It's honest work that Fizzy would do, I guess.
Yes, and
I don't know.
I wasn't initially a fan of one of the things I thought of, but I've been thinking about it, and I think it would be very good for the scene. Although from a legal perspective, I would be shocked if it ever happened. But finding some way to have a skins, a cosmetic system, something like that. I think that's great for Fizzy monetizing. I think he can use some of that money can go towards funds and stuff we've been talking about. I think that's just good for the game. Just legally, more challenging.
Yeah,
so.
sure. Yeah.
That's the main issue, but I think so much could come from that. You could be stage skins, character skins. You could have other stages. You could have voice mods, whatever, sound design. So there's a lot of cool stuff you could do. But anyway, that being said, so something that would be a little more legal to do would be when I'm giving people advice on how to improve, some people are like, they're not sure how to use Uncle Punch, or they're like, I wish I could use Uncle Punch with another person or something like that. And so I've always kind of wished that you could do like a 2-player training mode or a 2-player Uncle Punch type thing where you could like do a save state together and work through that or something. I think that could it would make teaching people easier. It would streamline setting up save states, and you could practice out a situation together and not have everything frame by frame. I think a lot of stuff like that would be really fun. You could just run a 0% situation over and over. And I know that's still already kind of possible, but just streamlining that would be really cool. I'd really like to see that. I think it would just be such a good practice tool. And I think so much of the practice being one person, I think there's such value of working with another person. I don't even mean a coach. You just be a training partner. It could be a friend. Maybe if you're at a tournament, you do it. You're like, oh, I didn't know how to deal with this in our set, right? You have time before another set, or you're knocked out. They have time before another set, and then you just do something. I don't know, whatever, right? I think it'd be cool. It's just a cool thing out there. A lot of possibilities. So those are 2 things I could throw out.
Yeah, those both sound really good.
For a third thing, man.
I'll throw out another one I saw someone talking about. I don't know if this was good or not, but it's something I can say. There was
I just had the sickest idea. But okay,
go for it.
No, you go first. No, you go first.
All right, well, I'll be quick. It's an all chat option, so it's not the default. It's just if both players have it enabled, then you, like an unranked or a direct or whatever, then you can type whatever to someone, and then you could even have filters on or whatever, and then it's not the default. So if you get Slippi, that won't be the default. You won't see anyone doing swears or whatever as something comes up, but you could have that as an option. People send it to each other. We could finally send Yoshi noises as Zeke intended, and I think that would be beautiful. But yeah, again, there are obviously still challenges with that, and someone could still have bad experiences, but people could also add each other. So that'd be cool. And so it's just something else to think about, and they could coordinate other games, and it'd be easier than missed connections on Melee Online Discord, which apparently don't work too well. So just something else to throw out there.
Yeah, that's not a bad one at all. That's actually pretty cool. I want more ways to communicate, not less. Because in spite of all the worries about toxicity and stuff, we had full text chat in Smash Ladder, and I mean, like I said, sometimes you get some real shitters, but I would say there were also a lot of positive interactions, and then there's some weird ones. There's some goofy people on there. So you took all time. I mean, I guess the thing about that is there was a moderation team, and the thing about Slippi is like, well, yeah, either you hire a moderation team or something, or you get volunteers, or you can't really do full text chat because eventually you're going to get people who are just literally spamming slurs, and you got to do something about it.
Right.
But okay, my last idea. The hidden fourth idea is, dude, imagine if how there's tournament mode in Melee, you can open up tournament mode and you can do a little tournament with computers and stuff. Imagine there was literally online tournament mode. You go to tournament mode and it actually starts a lobby on the internet. Dude. And there's a tournament lobby and you just get placed into a tournament.
You could even see it,
you could enter, and you could, and it was literally a tournament, and you're in the tournament and it plays out. And cool. Can you imagine?
And it integrates with Spectate, and you could do all. There's so much possibility with that too. There's you could set up skins that would only be in that.
I wasn't even thinking of that.
There's so much.
There's so much cool stuff. Eventually you could have integration with Smash GG and do all kinds of crazy. Yeah, I was thinking the most lightweight version is 16 random people. It just throws you in. It's like the first 16 people to do it, or 32 or whatever it is, get thrown into a tournament, and you're just in a tournament with 16 random fucking people.
Yeah.
But
Dude, I would love to
yeah,
do
you
those
could
for
take it. I
content.
mean, you could take it to the extremes. You could definitely take the extremes and make them super legit. Integrate them with spectator mode. Integrate them with Slippi. That would be like the extreme. But sky's the limit.
Dude,
on
that's
that one.
cool. That's a cool idea that has a lot of potential. I like that a lot.
I just thought of that.
Yeah, that's sick. Tournament mode?
That reminds me a lot of like the Rocket League tournament stuff that they do, where it's
Do
really
they do little pickup tournaments?
Yeah, people just like people just stream just hosting tournaments, and then they'll like imagine like you have like the host, and they can just go in like drop into games and like spectate games. That would be crazy. They do that for Rocket League, and
that's cool.
Blows my mind.
You could have different, quick chat options for tournament, like like make BRB more accessible, or you can say going to this stage, or we don't have to go through Smash GG. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff you could just do, make the quality of life easier. That's a cool idea. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's my idea. Well,
I love that. Well, that's a good one. I don't know if there was something else you were thinking of, caller friend, but if there was something you're thinking of, you can share that with us now before we let you go for the day.
Yeah.
No, I don't honestly. No, I didn't have many ideas myself. Those are all really good ideas. Yeah, there's not much to say.
Yeah. Well, hey, no worries. We'll let you go get to bed. I know it is late over there, as you said. And really, really cool question. Had Toph's brain blast in there, which was awesome as well. But thank you for calling in. You got any shout outs for us on your way out today?
Shout out to Toph for making the video. He made a video taking apart a GameCube controller. I watched that video, and now my controller is in bits.
Sorry about that.
That's all good. And shout out to like Shice, who like does a lot of the streams for London Melee. The London Melee scene's amazing. They're all really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, just UK Melee's Pog. That's all I can say.
Heck yeah, we love a Pog scene.
Yeah.
All right, well,
shout out to the UK.
Shout out to the UK. Thanks for calling in, and hopefully you get some good sleep tonight.
Hope so.
Hope so.
It's looking grim.
There's still time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
thanks so
take
much for
care.
having me, guys. I'll see you around.
Worries. See ya.
Definitely. See ya. I think that's all our callers for today.
Thanks
everyone who called in. Yeah, some good questions for sure. Well, listen, I guess the only thing left to do is for us to think of a community voice.
Yes, and I did not think of it at all.
I if anything, I'm even down to extend that last question because I think a lot of people have a lot of good ideas. So I guess we'll poll the community, or I'll poll the community at least. What do you guys think out there in the world? What do you think would be some things, and they can be as far-fetched, or not as you want? What are some features that you think would be beneficial for Slippi that you'd like to see? Let us know in the comments below.
It can be crazy. It can be from other esports. It can be something that he could could do in like a week. Maybe it's something that it would take him years. Whatever, right?
Yeah.
This let's explore what we can, because there's no harm in throwing out ideas. It can be we put an Among Us game mode in, right? You're not gonna upset me. Whatever. You can put in Waluigi. That's cool. We've talked about him a number of times, and Toph's always on board. So it's really whatever you want. But yeah, plenty of things that can be discussed. Any other parameters you want to put on there, Toph?
No, that sounds about perfect for me, man.
Great. But yeah, what would you want in Slippi? So that is your community voice.
What would you want in Slippi? Yeah, that's kind of my. I just think that question. Someone's got a good idea out there that that there's been so many really, it's not just Fizzy too. Obviously the Akane team, Uncle Punch, Achilles. There have been a lot of amazing modders over the years.
Yes,
and a lot of people with really interesting ideas. Also, people like literally just netcode improvements with like the Crystal build, and so honestly, I'm just really curious what everyone thinks, especially if there's people who play other video games. Always really interesting to see. I've got one for you. Features. I think you might be interested. I always thought one of the really cool things that Guilty Gear Plus R does is that you have the ability with the replays. You can pick up a replay midway through. You can start. You can take a situation and you can say, I want to start playing literally with my controller. I want to start playing at this moment in this replay and try to see if there's some other option I could have done in this situation. And you can almost turn any replay into like a little, like an Uncle Punch challenge in that sense. Like you get to take control of your character midway through and do something differently. Obviously, I think that'd be amazing in Melee, obviously, because there's so many times where you're just like, I want to see if he DIs this differently, what happens? And that would just be so convenient for that.
Yeah, I think there was, and I mean, you could incorporate this with the 2-player Uncle Punch type of idea where you give the replay to someone else, you both look at it and you say, okay, this moment, let's change and let's see what we can both do here.
Yeah,
I do this, you do that, and then so on and so forth. That'd be really fun.
Yeah. So the sky's the limit, really.
That's a cool idea too.
All right, well, I think that's about it for this week's episode of Radio Melee. Again, congratulations to everybody who made the PGR Contenders list. Congratulations to Druffin, who's going to be on next year.
Yes.
For sure.
Keep full hop down airing. They will keep hitting.
They will. Sometimes he even double jumps before he does the downer. It's insane. He goes really high up.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to y'all for tuning in. Always a pleasure. And again, if you're watching on YouTube, come by our Twitch chats one of these Tuesdays at 3 p.m. West Coast time, 6 p.m. East Coast time, and drop by, ask us some questions, talk to us, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yes. Till then, bye.
Till next week, everybody. Peace out.